Welcome back to another episode. This is a episode I've been trying to get for a long time, but it's been based on everyone's schedules. I got the lads with me today.
Hey.
Obviously, Kasky, I've had last episode. I got Mikey Mendoza right here with me. I got Austin eBay. I got Jip and Carson, who was in the background last episode too. So you guys can introduce yourself a little bit, kind of go into like your athletic background and how we all know each other and stuff like that. Well, you already knows him, but you can start with you, Mike.
Yeah, obviously new guest to the program. Thanks, Mike, for having us on.
Of course.
But yeah, I had a brief athletic stint. I played soccer, same club as Mike, so that's sort of how we initially met.
Yeah.
But obviously, through high school, got closer, and we've all been a pretty close knit squad for.
Yeah. We're missing a few.
Yeah.
We got Tanner out in Michigan, but
Yeah.
we're missing a few. But yeah, so we all know each other some weight. Austin played. You got to go into how you do it.
For sure, yeah. Also had a short stint, similar to Mike. Didn't play much, played 1 year of high school. After that, dreams were kind of shot. But definitely been around the Vegas basketball scene for a very long time. Older brothers, friends played.
Yeah.
So was integrated into that at a young age, and have just loved it ever since.
There you
We'll
go.
play every now and then in men's leagues, but that's
Have
about
to,
it.
have
That's
to.
all. That's all about that comes from me. So, yeah.
Well, I
No athletic.
no athletic background with Mikey, unfortunately. Actually met him in middle school and then just became friends throughout high school and kind of continued it post grad. So here we are.
There you go.
Yep. Well, we're all washed high school stars, but played football and baseball and hockey. But got close to these guys in high school. Watched Mikey play a bunch of soccer, Kasky play a bunch of soccer, and win a bunch of games. But kind of got closer over the years, and living through sports now is one of the main things we do on a daily basis.
Exactly, yeah.
Which
We,
brings us to
whether
today.
it's watching sports or waiting for the next game to come on, we're always kind of doing that. So I'll let you take it back, Mike.
Got you. So as everyone who watches this, probably the 50 people that I've had so far, can see that we all had bevies out. 4th of July weekend, we got
Yeah.
ultras, sun cruisers now. That was a new addition. So we'll kind of go into like, we've all had our fair share of beers. What do we put in beer wise? Like what's top tier that's like solidified the number one spot for you guys? Your own personal preference.
I mean, easiest one to go to for me is a Michelob Ultra. I mean,
That's everyone.
the local light beer. I mean, if we're playing beer games or if we're out in the sun, I mean, can't go wrong unless they're warm. Then that's off.
Brutal.
Yeah.
You guys have like your own preference of alcohol?
Yeah.
That like
I mean, in terms of beer, I've sort of had the same favorite probably since freshman year of college. Gonna go 805. A
That's
little
a
bit on the
classic.
heavier side, maybe
Yeah.
a little tougher to play beer games with. But in terms of going to a bar and ordering one, that's
Yeah,
going
can't get better.
805.
Yeah.
fair.
For sure. Definitely with Mike on that one. If we're ordering a beer at the bar, it's going to be an 805 for sure.
For sure.
But I'm more of a light beer guy myself. So if it isn't Michelob Ultra, it's probably a Coors Light. Mountains are blue all the time.
I'm not a fan of
That
seltzers
way.
anymore, so
Yeah.
I've had my fair share of seltzers.
Yeah.
I can't do seltzers no more.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and second Mike as well. Ordering a beer, it's going to be an 805. But if we're playing third Mike, if we're going to play beer games, it's definitely going to be a Coors Light. I prefer those way over an Ultra. So
I'm ultra all day, Michelob all day. And then like at the bar or something, I usually would probably order a Michelob as well. 805 I like a lot too, but I think that like Michelob is just the beer where like you're no matter what, you can't like be disappointed. You know exactly what
Yeah.
you're getting. Like just a watery down, just beer. Yeah.
They're always
So-
usually on or on a happy hour too, which is
I will
perfect.
attest. Sometimes with the Coors, you get a funky batch.
You do, yeah.
Yesterday,
Yeah,
we were like, "Is there vodka in this thing? What's going on?"
It was a brutal banger.
There's a little kick to it sometimes, but
What is like, so like, we'll go all day drinking, but like, if you're just pre-gaming, what is like the standard, like, oh, we can only have beer for X amount? Like, what's your number until you have to switch over to to like?
It depends how much
Is
the
it-
pregame
is it just, like,
It
based
might be
off
like a
vibes for you
rack.
guys?
It depends. You know what? It depends on the day. It really depends on the day. I'll say if we're playing 4-banger, I know we're not into beer games yet, but that count could be upwards of
That's true.
10.
That's true.
That's
true.
watching this back, I might have to check myself into
I say the more I talk about it, I don't know if it's something to necessarily be proud of, but we've been doing it for a while. It's almost kind of become a sport at this point.
It actually has.
Especially,
It has.
especially
What happens
over
when you
the
get a bunch
summer.
of- happens when
We
you
got
get a
no
bunch of-
sports on.
And
We
if
gotta
you could throw
entertain
banger
ourselves.
on Will Hill, that'd be fire
That's-
too, honestly. I'm not gonna
So we'll
lie.
kind of go into like the beer games. So what's like tiers for like beer games? Obviously, we've played damn near every single game there is: cards, dice,
if not created
dubs.
our own.
Yeah, if
somehow,
not creating
somewhere.
our own. So like,
Yeah.
what's like tier 1, 2 of like beer games?
We start at the bottom.
We start at the bottom, make our way
Tier
up.
3 maybe.
Yeah, we'll go.
So 3 up, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is tough.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
there are
die number 3.
Die.
Die at 3.
Die pong banger. I think.
I think I'm
Is
right
that
with
the
you.
order?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for
Or
the most
most.
part, I'd say.
What's like a sneaky like, you know?
I like
Flong.
flong. Yeah,
Sneaky
flong is fun.
Just a little
Yeah.
messy, but
Flong, fun pregame, probably 7-Eleven dubs.
Or
That's a
in the
good one.
in the box.
Or in the box.
Yeah, that one.
Rage cages.
Cage. You
I
know,
can't.
a
Too
slept
slow.
on, a slept on one as well. So some call it the Ivy League of drinking games. Zoomy Zoomy.
Oh yeah.
I haven't played Zoomy Zoomy in so
I haven't
long.
played
some
that.
reason have never been good at that game.
I haven't played that in like 4 years.
I haven't played
so that
Zoomy
game is
Zoomy in
fun.
so
That game
long.
is fun.
So kind of going based off another game, it's kind of like backyard games. So you got the cornhole, you got other. So what's like tiers for like?
I don't know another game besides cornhole.
You got cornhole. I mean wiffle ball, but like you can go
Yeah.
to the park and play kickball like you
It
guys
used to be
have done.
spike
and
ball. That was
Spike.
Spike
I think
ball.
spike ball's
You
tier
gotta have a
1.
beach for
Spike
spike ball.
ball.
For sure.
Have to.
Yeah.
I feel like
Unless we're tossing pig.
we got every. I mean, I'm not going to say what ladder golf. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Bags is a clear one.
Yeah.
What is like? I have another question for drinking. It's gonna be bad after watching this back, but like top vibe. Like if you want to have a drink, like what are like vibes? Like
Like a shower beer? or
shower
like-
beer at the
Ooh,
beach.
I like this.
Like what do you guys like? What is your
Should we
favorite
go
like?
down the line?
Yeah, we can go
It's
down.
a clear cut order.
I'll say like the best time to have like
Or you
a
just go
bevy,
whatever you want. Whatever
like
you
just
want.
anything. I'd probably say like just like at the beach, just having a nice cold beer.
Yeah.
Safe
You know,
option.
That's
whether
safe.
we're either playing games or just hanging out, like nothing
Yeah.
better than water, sun, and a cold.
Like when we
brew.
had went to Avery's house, that
Yeah.
day was just
yeah, like, you can
ultimate.
Easy ball play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
I think I got to go sporting event beer.
yeah,
Like a
That's a good one.
tailgate.
yeah. Tailgates are fire.
before the football game.
That's fair.
That's
That's another
yeah.
safe one. I like that.
Yeah, I was gonna go shower beer initially, but I realized I haven't done that in a very long time, so
Yeah.
that'd be very unrealistic of me to say. But honestly, if the guys are ripping a trip somewhere, I'd say a beer post flight. Kind of the
Yeah.
first beer
I like
coming
that.
off the plane to
I
start
like
the
that.
trip,
Yeah.
like that just sets the vibe. So
There's also no rules up
Could be 4 a.m. It's like might as
No
well.
one judging you. You're looking at Popeye's chicken sandwich and a beer.
That's actually top tier though. Like, there's creatures at the airport, so you're just people watching. You got yourself a beer. You're just like, what is going on? Especially if it's like.
I'm
6
gonna
a.m.
honestly piggybacking off Baz, kind of similar to a beach beer, but I would say one level above that would be like if you're on a boat beer.
Yeah.
Like a
'Cause you
cruise
get
or
the- you
like.
get the
I haven't been
ele-
on a
You
cruise.
get the
so.
element of the beach, but you also get the boat. You get a little Kenny Chesney playing.
Oh yeah,
Double
when we went to
whammy.
Yeah, you
Newport.
get a little best of both worlds on the
That
boat.
was
so.
fun.
Yeah, I'm rocking with the beach too, but like, I would say, like, bar side beach, like nothing in front of you but the beach.
I like that.
Like,
Yeah.
I like that.
For most people that watch this have been to probably Newport Beach, but like mutt lynches, like
yeah.
getting a chalice and
Yeah,
mutt
those are
lynches,
fire.
just whatever you want, and then thinking that you can chug it and then trying. But yeah, like looking out over like the bar and just like seeing the beach and seeing the
Yeah.
boardwalk and seeing everything, but like having the coldest beer possible in front of you. So
So like we haven't had like summertime. Obviously summertime's like Maine for like drinks and stuff, but you know, what's like another prime time? Like, you know, we can't go out in like the winter time and just it'll be cold, but like, you know, NFL season I think is prime time.
Yeah,
NFL,
Sunday
I mean,
football.
and then anytime
because you got Saturday, you got
Yeah,
college
college
football, you
football.
got
college. I will say college. Nothing probably beats like a college football beer as far as like the wintertime and stuff. Because Sunday you're like, am I supposed to be drinking today? Like, and then like overs around Thanksgiving time, everybody's back
Yeah.
in town, and like, well, obviously everybody's kind of graduated now, but like people come around and everybody kind of gets together. So there's always like a ton of good times around Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So.
Blackout Wednesday. I'm gonna kind of piggyback off Mike's answer. He said like a sports game beer, but what's another like besides drinking, obviously, like main like snacks you need to get at a game?
Dog.
Like you can get a hot dog, like there's
Hot dogs
nachos, like
mandatory.
yeah, hot dog mando.
what's a mando you need to have at a
I'm a
game?
big pretzel and cheese with the dogs, double combo.
I get like
I like to keep it
Garlic
light.
fries are-
yeah, a
I'm-
hot dog.
Kind of weird. It's one of my weird like snacks that I love, but popcorn. I love popcorn.
That's fair.
I took a page out of Steph Curry's book. I like trying out the new popcorn flavors at different stadiums.
That's
but
fire.
Popcorn's my essential.
I like
say.
popcorn, just not the movies. Something weird about
So
Yeah.
the thing with that is you got to go light butter.
that's fair.
They'll drench
That's
it in
fair.
the butter.
That's fair.
Big popcorn fella for Scott Walker. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, for me, I'd probably say dog and a beer. All reliable. Can't go wrong. You go movies. Not a big popcorn guy myself.
sweet
so
candy.
I unfortunately
Like we said earlier, the sweet tart ropes.
that. Yes,
That's my main.
smacked a whole bag of those for the F1 movie. Great movie, by the way. I honestly go nachos most of the time, which is kind of a sick rip, but been doing that my whole life, so
That's
it
fair.
just feels right, you know.
That's fair. So
Yeah, I
kind
could
of-
not do nacho cheese on this.
So what is like kind of big off that again is like a sports event that like we need to go to. That like it's
Collectively as a
ultimate
friend
like
group?
Well, the World
collectively.
Cup's coming up.
I know you guys did like Chicago, but like as a sports event, like make a trip out of it. If we could all like recommend it, what would you want to do? Like
Raider game.
Yeah.
Well, we
like
do
a
that.
big
I'm good
event.
off that.
I'm just waiting until the World Cup starts. You know, we
Yeah.
got to catch at least a couple. Of those.
like I would love to go to a baseball game, but it's just like not
We gotta wait till
fun.
the
Like
A's here.
World Series maybe.
Yeah.
World Series would be a vibe.
For what? Well, I
Pick
mean,
one, everyone.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Like,
I might go. I
we've
might go
been-
World Cup.
yeah,
Or
I'm gonna
maybe-
go World Cup
yeah.
or like a big like Champions League final game. I mean, that's a little bit more unrealistic right now, but like since the World Cup's coming to the states,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not in Vegas, but there's a couple ones around that I definitely want to pop into.
For sure.
I think rather than like single game, I would have to go like probably like a big sporting weekend.
Yeah.
To kind of stay in the season of the sports we're in. I'd say Wimbledon.
Yeah,
would be super
Wimbledon would be
fun.
nuts.
Yeah.
We were
Or like the
talking
horse,
about it.
or
Relevant.
We were
right now.
talking
Go the
about
horse.
it. We were
Yeah.
talking about it.
I think I know what you're
yesterday.
gonna
That
talk
would be-
about because I was just about to say it too.
A little under the radar pick. I'm gonna go Kentucky Derby.
Yeah,
Oh.
that would be
That would
so
be,
We all
fun.
have sleeper picks.
That one's been
Been in the works. 2
Yeah, we
days
need
in
to go.
Nashville. Take a trip down to Louisville for
Mine's a
the
sleeper.
Yeah, that's
Derby?
coming up this year.
maybe
We're
this
doing
year.
it.
Like going to like the Stanley Cup Finals and stuff. I was at the game when they won the cup. That was really cool. But like I would have to say, kind of like a sleeper as well is the Masters, like golf.
Yeah.
But like it's a little bit slower. But the Masters is really cool because
What about
because-
what's the one in Arizona?
Waste management.
Waste
Yeah,
management.
that one's a party. But the Masters is cool because they like don't allow you to be on your phones.
Yeah.
So you see all the pictures of people like watching Rory win on 18 or
Yeah.
watching like the
Yeah.
whole tournament, and there's not a phone in sight. Like everybody's just enjoying like the game, and it's pretty cool to watch. So
Well, I guess I'd like to be different here. And Chip has given this shout a couple of times. I think a Rose Bowl game would be sick.
Yeah.
I've
the
been
boys
saying
could get
we
down.
need to go to an SEC game.
Yeah, or
Like,
SEC,
just any
college
regu-
football
yeah.
game would
Like
be
a college
dope.
game day weekend.
Yeah, because then we get to
in the
go
South.
enjoy what that scenery is
Tailgate,
like
yeah.
afterwards. So I think that'd be a cool opportunity for us for sure. Sounds like a great time.
I'm surprised no one said Super Bowl or NBA.
That's just not realistic.
Yeah, that just seems. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I heard
And
the
I also,
Super-
I also, yeah, I should just
Like,
feel like
I
the,
can't do
the
so-
vibes
like,
for
I just
that are
want one
way
game to
different.
go.
I heard the Super Bowl is not fun. It's literally a corporate event at this point. My girlfriend's dad went to the one that was at
Yeah.
Allegiant, and even he said it was super quiet the whole time. Even the players said it. They were like, the first half was like eerily quiet. Like they felt there's
Yeah.
no real fans. I mean, when the nosebleeds are going for $5,000,
Yeah,
it's all gonna be company outings, and
Yeah.
a lot of companies, what they'll do is they'll buy out like 2 rows, and then like that, so those seats are gone. And I heard the Super Bowl's a little overrated.
What about the NBA Finals? Is that just like
Unless
not
it's
a
Game 7,
You got
but
two anti-NBA guys to my left and my right.
Final Four?
yeah,
Would be
like college
fun.
basketball, like that.
But I know
national
you're a
championship
basketball
would be
guy, so
fun.
it's like, would you go
It's
to?
not a question for me. I definitely would. I think these guys would as well. They're just being those types of fellas right now.
Would you go college national championship or NBA finals?
I would probably go
National
college game.
championship.
I'd
just
probably go
for
college
vibes
national
alone.
championship.
It's way more intense.
Like that Houston Florida game this past year.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Elite game to go to.
A lot of money
Florida.
won on that.
Hey, there you go.
Gators.
Well, I like the way you were. Let's just kind of go like, would you rather? So you did college national or NBA.
Yeah.
What's another like close one
Comparison.
that you could think that like would be a good argument?
No, it's
No baseball shouts.
Yeah, not baseball shouts.
Pretty
I was gonna say
boring.
like going to the Olympics for like the 100-meter dash would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but
But like that's just like
movement.
a split second,
Doesn't
so
move
it's
me.
not like
Yeah.
worth going to.
Would you say Stanley Cup or Super Bowl?
I'd probably go Stanley Cup, honestly.
It depends. Are we talking
I'd rather
Game
do
7 Stanley Cup or
Game
is it-
7
Both
Stanley
game
Cup.
sevens.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup hockey's just different.
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
We rank Game 7s. Which sport?
Go
is the
ahead, let's
best
jump
Game
into that.
7s?
Go ahead.
Sporting.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
cool.
I have a good one.
I think the Stanley Cup's got the best Game 7s / playoffs
Yeah, they do have a
compared
really
to
good
the
pair-
other like
playoff.
NBA or / MLB.
The best game 7 I think I've witnessed like with my own eyes. Alec Martinez was with the Knights for a while. He just retired with the Blackhawks after going there. But in 2014, I believe, with the Kings, he played Henrik Lundqvist and the Rangers
Mhm.
in double overtime of Game 7.
that'd be
Knocked
nice.
home the winning goal.
That'd be
and-
crazy. I wouldn't
and
even
just
imagine.
like after, because you got 20 minutes, you got 20 minutes, you got 20 minutes. You're playing 60 minutes for a game, and then to play almost another 40 minutes of just continuously like just hard hitting like crazy hockey, like in just the scenes of like him tapping it in, and then everybody just going crazy because everybody goes crazy when they win the Stanley Cup,
Yeah.
right? We just watched the Panthers do that, and you throw all your stuff up. But like when you watch that, even if you watch like a replay of it, it's just different. Like because it was such a crazy Game 7 winner take all double overtime.
That's
like,
fair. So would
and-
you kind of do another one is kind of waste management or Final Four?
Final Four.
Yeah, I'd go.
You gotta do Final Four.
I've heard
I-
waste management is a disaster.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have. I
They
would
were
What
like
about
one
the
year they,
Masters?
like,
then?
capped the
Masters
drinks, too.
or
I'd still probably
Final
go
Four.
I think
In
it's
terms
a
of
little more
fun,
active.
yeah, I'd say the
Yeah.
Final Four, but Masters is so exclusive. that
I feel like depending
good.
on where we're at in our lives, like a younger version, an older version of ourselves, like I could see the answer being way
Both.
different.
Yeah.
But like I would say waste management, like you have to prepare yourself for like the entire weekend. Final Four, like you're looking forward to going to like the event, and you know it's gonna be like a cordial, formal event. Waste management, I think anything could happen at any moment, and then there's also being golf played. So
But there's also kind of like the hole-in-one aspect. Like
Yeah.
imagine you're
miss
just,
16.
What if you miss it though?
That's
And it's like a
true.
waste.
That's
think-
true.
The thing with the Final Four that kind of potentially turns me off is, I mean, they're playing in a huge football stadium. So like you see some, and they look like
Yeah.
ants, like in the middle of the court. And I mean, you see like the memes on Twitter all the time of they're like, ref, that's a foul, but it's like you
like in
can't
the-
even see that, and you probably paid
point.
like a few hundred. I think
That's
it's
true.
Masters no brainer, honestly.
The only downside to the Masters would be us being able to go as a group, which
Yeah.
is not realistic.
That's
That's the biggest takeaway
Yeah.
for me is like I wouldn't necessarily go watch the Masters with my partner. So
fair.
yeah.
Why do you think like when people would rather go to college basketball games than the NBA
Well,
or even
Unpredictable.
football and
Way
NBA
more
and NFL?
I mean, for college basketball, that's an easy one. Like they're actually trying. Like a regular season
Yeah.
NBA game might as well be pickup, and no one's trying. What was your other question?
College football and
I'd say those
NFL.
are closer.
You think those
Football?
are closer than?
Oh, that's
But I just
really
think that there's
close.
a lot more passion.
Yeah, you got to prove yourself. Kind of.
Than it is.
Unpredictability too. Like you could be down 20 points, come back in 3 minutes, and have a game.
That's true.
College football is so unpredictable.
They also, a lot of them, like, granted, they are college athletes, so I'm not going to hate on them, but, like, there's an aspect of they kind of suck compared to pros. So, like Carson said, anything can happen, or you see them inbound the ball to the wrong teams, and, like, disaster happens with 10 seconds left, when in NBA, that's never going to happen. So, it kind of makes it, you're never out of the fight in college versus, like, pros. They're not going to make those kind of mistakes.
I was on Twitter. Do you think it'd be it was kind of a question I saw. Do you think it'd be better views if the NFL had like a series in like the Super Bowl, like
no.
week by week?
That's too
Or-
much.
That's a lot to watch,
A
especially
series
when
like
it's the
best of
2 same
7?
teams.
Nah, it'd probably be like 3.
I don't think that it's just too physical.
Yeah, like
You
there'd be
need- they
too
need,
many
like, a week
injuries.
off in between games just to recover.
I mean, to answer your question about the whole NBA thing, I feel like the difference is obviously the money.
Yeah.
Their goal is to obviously get there one day, and obviously with NIL now,
Yeah.
it's
They're damn near making, yeah.
it's a little wishy-washy
closing
at
the
this
gap.
point. Yeah. But I would say that's the biggest takeaway from that is just like, you know,
Yeah, the NIL money is.
Yeah.
nuts.
I got a question. You guys think athletes in college getting paid is a good thing versus
I think to an
They just need
extent.
they need contracts, not just like
Yeah.
full
I think
money.
to an extent. I
Like,
mean, look at
guaranteed is crazy.
the guy on the Bengals who didn't even sign his contract yet. Shamir.
That's more. That's
yeah.
more.
Well,
on
that's
the
the
team,
Bengals'
though.
fault,
That's more
Is
on-
it more their fault?
Yeah, they have a couple
some
players they haven't
crazy contract
re-signed.
language.
Yeah.
So it's not even like it's not even just them. A lot of the second rounders, it's a thing because they don't get the injury guarantee. Like our second round pick, Alfred Collins, he did the same thing.
As he hasn't signed yet
hasn't
either.
signed yet, no.
Really?
But he's practicing?
No.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
yeah, hook 'em.
I think they need definitely need guardrails in college. I mean,
I think like comes to an extent. I mean, if I was in college and I'm making Caleb Williams money, I wouldn't want to come out and just like.
well, yeah,
but
but then
I
you
also
then
like
you
you're
take,
also a solidified number 1 pick.
yeah,
So
but you
it's
take
like,
the Nico situation from Tennessee and like they're reporting to fall camp and all of a sudden he's holding out because instead of $2 million he wants $4 million.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And you can't as Tennessee you can't do that. You can't cave to a player's demand. So then now you're out your quarterback, and it ended up backfiring on him. But like the premise, like you need to be able to sign them to contracts so they can't leave every year. And that's just my opinion. Like the turnover is going to become crazy. It's just going to be every year. It's like free
Yeah.
agency.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line of like, yeah, all these guys' names and likeliness is going to be used. So like they should, if people that are pro and getting sponsorships and all that stuff are making money off of it, then they probably should too. But it's sort of creating like a monster, as like the best example being Nico. Like a lot of these
yeah.
guys are demanding more money and they don't have the best people representing them, the best people negotiating them.
I
a
brought
lot
this
of
up with
fathers.
Caskie last time. Like that's what happens when you have family as your
Yeah.
agents.
Yeah.
Because they're
And
always going
so-
to try and like
We
find
all-
their way to get their own money out of
Yeah,
you, and you're
yeah.
the one doing the work for it.
So,
So,
like,
it's like
so they're screwing up a lot with their talks and all that stuff. But like usually, like you said, everybody, whether it's somebody that you trust that's a close friend or a family or whatever, a lot of people, like we have a pretty close group. If somebody blew up, nobody's gonna be like asking for handouts. But like a lot of these guys are looking for their own way to get a piece of the pie. You know, whether it's family or friends or, you know, whatever. So when you have somebody that does this for a living and they have 50 clients, then they're probably the better way to go because the dad doesn't know the lingo or the
yeah.
negotiations or, you know, how to keep everybody happy. So,
Here's a question: who past athletes, if NIL was around, who's getting in any sport? Who's getting the most?
Reggie Bush.
Yeah, I was about to say Reggie Bush got robbed.
Manziel, Tebow.
Yeah,
Reggie
Johnny
Bush.
would have gone.
Like,
They probably
nuts.
all even still got paid, but like obviously, yeah.
but if it was around
Yeah.
bathink
I
like,
think,
Reggie-
Johnny,
I think-
Johnny Manziel would have probably
I'm
set a
thinking like
record
a-
for
like a-
most.
Yeah.
18 or 17-year-old Bryce Harper.
I'm going RG3. I think RG3 would
Baylor?
have had it back.
That's biased, but
But also, that is biased for me. That is biased for me.
Vince Young, though.
Yeah. I mean, what was he, 16 or 17-year-old Bryce Harper on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and he got nothing for that. So,
Well,
I mean, if that was now,
let's exclude quarterbacks because obviously we can name quarterbacks, and
Yeah.
obviously besides the obvious one, Reggie Bush, who was like another like sneaky, like shout that
Bijan.
Mariota.
Yeah, Mariota.
Mariota.
Pretty much had a whole
Oregon,
nation
but
behind him.
quarterback.
Oh yeah, we said no quarterback. That's on me. I don't know. I'm liking the Bryce Harper show.
Yeah. Vegas product.
Vegas product, 16-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, how much do you think he
I don't
would have gotten
know.
for being on the, like, what do you get for being
Oh my
on
God,
the
he would have.
millions?
Oh yeah.
I mean, Livy,
Especially
Livy
like
Dunn's
if like
making.
TikTok was around too,
Yeah.
like the influence he would have had over social
Yeah.
media at that time.
Well, here's another one then. So it's like your number one prospect. What like as number one quarterback, you want to go to a college for at least what's the rule, like 3 years? You gotta play 3.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
Oof.
I'm going.
Especially with all the conferences now, it's tough.
Ooh.
Like
So-
I would say
Are
Pac-12,
the
but
teams like set how they are now?
yeah, conferences now. Conferences now. It's a state conference now.
Pick a conference or
No,
a
pick
team?
a team. Pick a team. Like like what's your number one?
Oh.
Like
I'm going. I mean, I would probably go to UT.
I
Honestly,
was gonna say Texas.
that's pretty
It's a
clear
big one.
cut. But I mean, smaller market like Jacob and I always joke like Ole Miss would be super fun too. Going to
Yeah,
Oxford.
just like in terms
the
of
exposure is
college.
low, but like in terms of like having fun.
Yeah.
Like
But
I
like
would
the
probably
experience-
rather
full
go there,
experience?
like full experience. I
Like,
guess
I
it
wanna
depends.
succeed,
So you're
though,
go- you're-
I'm going Texas,
I like a little
so there's like a
honesty off of
difference.
that.
So if you want to succeed,
Texas or Ohio State, probably.
but if you want to
succeed.
have the fun aspect,
I'd go somewhere in the South.
whereas
Yeah, Georgia, obviously.
Tennessee, Georgia, Bama.
FSU
You go to
would be
Georgia,
fun.
Bama, you run the risk of losing a position. Like they have
Yeah.
so much talent
Yeah.
getting in and out of there on a regular basis that it's like
But
how
you're
solidified is your position. Granted, like you said, you're the number one prospect. But
they're probably going to spend all the money on you, so they have to play you. But it's like
Yeah, there's to kind of branch off a little bit, but like I would say probably UT, Ohio State. Georgia's always in the mix. Like this year, Georgia won't have a great quarterback compared to whatever, but they're still gonna be in the fold. But
I'm surprised no one said Oregon.
I was gonna
Oregon.
I feel like Oregon
I
would
just
be.
wouldn't want to live in Oregon though.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I already did that. I'm cool off
I'd
that.
love to have the Nike deal.
Yeah, yeah.
But a big thing that's kind of turning, especially for us here in town, is like UNLV is starting to. They've done the last couple seasons have been the best in
Yeah.
program history, and they're getting some names. Like they got Jake Pope, who transferred from.
I mean, even Dan Mullen as a coach is big.
Yeah, Dan Mullen's he's a big name SEC guy, and then like they're like last year they were 1 win away from
Playoffs.
going to be in the playoffs, which is like ridiculous. But you got a lot of guys coming into this.
Baz, where are you going?
I'd probably like just to like kind of say a different name and like more for experience. I'd go to like FSU or like Florida, just because like
Well,
that
I mean,
area is nice.
they've shown
Miami,
that
I
they'll
think
just
Miami.
if FSU has shown anything, they've shown that they'll just throw a ridiculous amount of money at you.
Yeah.
Look at DJ
DJ
Ugalele.
Uiagalelei, 4-0, played 2 games.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
I'll be backup.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
But no, I mean, going back to Carson talking about UNLV, I mean, I always kind of joked around like, if I'm the Raiders, I need to see at least one bowl game win before I'm actually letting them play on my field.
I agree. I agree.
Unfortunately, with
Yeah.
UNLV,
I agree.
As cool as it would be to see them succeed, unfortunately, with them being in the Mountain West,
Doesn't help.
in my opinion, they're just going to be a stepping stone for a lot of players that are trying to get. I know the Mountain West gets a playoff bid, and yeah, it'd be not anymore. You're correct, but it would be cool to see them. But until we get the funding of a big name conference, which they would like to move the Mountain
Yeah.
or UNLV, but apparently like UNLV and UNR are a package deal. So and UNR doesn't meet the requirements, so they're not going to move UNLV, and that would just create so
Damn
much more
UNR.
funding.
Talking about his own school, man.
Damn Wolfpack.
I know my own alma mater, but
They said it would cost also like 30, like a crazy amount of money for them to move from the Mountain West. They were doing like a new Pac-12 or
Yeah.
whatever, and it would basically be like Mountain West 2.0, and then they would also have to pay a ton of money to
Yeah.
move. So
Yeah.
that wouldn't.
But yeah, I mean, if Mullen succeeds for 3 years, he'll get another job somewhere in a big name, at least a Power 4
I mean, look
conference,
at
and then
Odin.
work
He's going to
over.
Purdue, who won 1 game last year, but he's making 10 times
But
more
that's
money.
a Big Ten
Yeah.
school, so you have Big Ten money to throw at players. So we just lack the funding, which is crazy given the amount of money that is in this city.
Yeah.
That
It is cool though to see like a lot of these guys like Von Miller and Max Crosby just had like the SAC summit out here where basically tight end university for
Yeah.
the defensive guys, defensive ends. There's a lot of guys, especially Max Crosby, bringing like a little bit more attention to UNLV and a lot of people out here because UNLV not in the greatest part of town, the campus, but like the facilities are like
Yeah, they're brand new.
outstanding.
They
Yeah.
just redid that
So,
football
Yeah,
facility.
they had brand new facilities. Everything's great. And so like for them to kind of bring some attention to it and bring some of those guys, out to Vegas, then it kind of puts it on the map a little bit more.
I mean,
too.
I feel like damn near every sport, Vegas has probably one of the most like crazy athletes. I mean, soccer might not, but I mean, like,
If we don't have an MLS
I
team,
feel like
yeah.
Vegas is like a sneaky spot.
That's why everyone wants to move here. I mean, the money's
I mean,
here.
in terms of breeding athletes, though, I don't
Oh no,
know if you're getting out of California, Texas, Florida. I think are the
Yeah.
big three
Yeah.
for those.
Primary ones that are-
Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia,
Yeah.
Um,
6'7".
but yeah, I mean, hey, don't sleep on Tate Martell.
yeah, that's a shout.
Hey,
Best all-time high school quarterback.
you
Vegas.
just got paid a shout on the pod.
That's
That's crazy.
that's
work
crazy.
Right there,
Let's
buddy.
kind of go number one prospect, but you're in basketball now.
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Oh, that's
Probably Duke.
That's a big one.
Yeah,
I mean,
I-
I've
I'm
been a
gonna
big
stand.
Duke fan
I'm gonna
for
stand by it. I'm gonna say
a minute
UNC.
now.
Well, there's
I'm
like
going-
4 schools you
Yeah,
can-
I'm
Kansas,
going.
Duke.
I'm taking my talents to Duke.
Yeah.
Duke.
It's,
Cool.
it's Duke.
Cool.
It's Duke, Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky are your
It's
pretty
tough.
much 4
Yeah,
options.
but
Yeah.
look at Florida now.
Kansas has kind of fallen off. I would like to be in Gainesville. Gainesville would be cool.
Yeah,
I don't know
Florida.
how long their stint will be.
Now, what are you trying to be? Are you trying to make the NBA? Because then you go to Kentucky, or you go to Cal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I could play Arkansas, but
Yeah.
But I mean, look at Anthony Edwards. You went to Georgia.
true. I
And-
mean, that's just a one-off athlete.
Yeah.
You don't want the,
Yeah, it's
the
like
Tyson's
Kawhi
NIL
going to
money.
Yeah, I'd probably go either Kentucky or Duke, one of those blue blitz.
No UNC. No UNC shouts in there.
Yeah,
Chapel Hill's
UNC.
tough.
UNC's been pretty rough the last couple years, ever since Roy Williams retired. So, yeah, no, I'm saying it's Duke or Kentucky, and I hate Duke, but like
Hey, Duke.
they're always going to be good. And Kentucky, I mean, new coach, but they shattered expectations this first year.
Yeah, I mean, basically all you guys are saying is, the truth. The tides have changed a little bit, coaching changes, stuff like that. You got, some other teams that you could sneak in there and still, make a bid for it every year, like Arizona or,
Yeah.
Villanova, or, just some.
No, Novas fell off. So
A
it's
sneaky option, like if you're trying to win, would be UConn,
Yeah.
and they're like borderline blue blood.
Hurley.
It's just you're in Storrs, Connecticut, which is like population 200 people, and
The college.
yeah, but you get to play some games in Madison Square Garden, and same with St. John's. Like that would be cool too.
Gonzaga.
Syracuse.
Yeah.
I'd
On the
live
Wilds.
in Gonzaga.
UConn
I mean, they
just
had their stint though, so it's
UConn just
you
had
know.
a big hockey year.
I don't know college hockey that much.
Yeah.
All I know is
I just know the Frozen
College,
Four.
that's it.
all I know is Boston
I can tell
College
you
and
99%
Michigan.
of the population knows nothing about college.
Yeah.
I just know Boston University,
Boston,
BC,
Boston College, Michigan,
Michigan, Denver.
Denver.
That's about it.
That's all I
it.
know.
And then I know the Hokey Baker Award. Hobie Baker Award.
That's so fun.
So kind of based off like kind of switching gears here, going back to the 4th of July theme. Joey Chestnut,
Oh man.
how
Yeah.
many hot dogs do you think you guys get in? What is it? An hour?
What's the timeline?
I think it's
what's
an
the,
hour.
An hour?
No, it's like 10 minutes.
It's
Yeah.
10 minutes.
No,
It's a quick one.
It's 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's not very
Yeah.
long.
Oh,
That's
I
why
think
he's
it is
soaking 'em
only
in
10
water.
minutes.
Oh, so then how many guys down
I'm
in
probably
10
putting
minutes?
maybe 10. Like
10.
max.
Not even, bro.
I think by 8 I would be like,
Thrown up.
yeah, I don't.
I got a.
10 minutes long.
I don't know. It's funny. Jacob and I talked about this yesterday. I'll let him,
Yeah.
give
Our
his
two-
his
our-
little
our
his little
hypothetical.
hypothetical situation here. But yeah, that's tough. I mean, if Baz is saying 10, then I got to
But also
go.
the thing is, you're seeing people dip the buns in water.
Yeah, I'm not
So
doing that.
Soggy bread to me is
That's sick work.
disgusting.
You also have to realize that like Chestnut doesn't even like chew them. Like he just swallows them. Like he mastered the art.
That's crazy.
Like I can't do that.
I
Like,
couldn't.
Open the throat, pause, and just.
I could do it with beer. I could do it with beer,
Hey,
but
we got a hypothetical.
Yeah, this one's funny.
Hypothetical. Joey Chestnut versus Usain Bolt. Both have to eat one hot dog and then run a 100-meter dash. So you
Usain Bolt.
can't run until you finish the hot dog
Yeah, I
completely.
still think
And
that.
then-
That's what I said.
so you,
I still
you
think
eat the hot
Usain-
dog, you swallow it, and then you run. So
I mean, I could eat a
Chestnut
hot
is
dog
gonna
in like
have a-
4
that's
seconds.
That's what I said too.
And I could probably beat Joey Chestnut in a 100.
That's
I
what
mean,
I said,
I
like-
can.
in, ter-
clear you in the hot dog.
in terms of eating
10
like
seconds minimum.
a lot of hot dogs, like yeah, that's tougher. But like just finishing one, like that's a relatively easy food to put down. Like you can smack. I think
I
within
put in like
15
5 seconds. I can do
Yeah,
it in
but
5
he's
seconds. I
also-
could eat half and then eat the other half.
Okay, honestly, but if I knew I
You
had
want
a
to time
rate,
this
you
shit
can-
right now? I'll go.
He has a. That's what like they said. He put one down in 1.5 seconds. So he's starting to run the 100-meter dash after 2 seconds. Bolt's taking minimum 10 seconds on the hot dog.
I don't
Yeah,
think
but
so.
he'll.
Yeah, it's like probably two
You gotta
bites
chew
to
it.
chew and swallow.
You gotta
Yeah.
chew
Start
and just
running.
keep chewing.
Granted,
I think it
his
would take me
strides are-
7 seconds to eat a hot dog.
Okay, he's probably beating you then.
No.
No.
Joey Chestnut?
To
Yeah.
run a mile?
No, 100-meter dash.
100-meter dash.
It's gonna take. It's gonna take him
but
20
I'm not
seconds in the
Usain
100-meter
Bolt.
dash.
You're failing to realize how slow he probably is.
I'm not saying he's fast, but
Dude
like
eats
20.
hot dogs for a
but
living.
Literally.
No, he's built like
No,
a-
but I'm
But you
Yeah.
just sprint for. It's like, what is he gonna run it in? 20 seconds?
sprint.
I know, 20 seconds.
Usain runs it with like
built
10
like a milk
seconds.
bag.
10 to be safe.
So basically,
9
what you guys
seconds.
all get from this is that Jacob thinks Joey Chestnut.
I think it's a lot
He
closer.
thinks he's a superior athlete.
I think it's closer now.
Jack,
now we
clip it.
did ask
Jack,
this
clip it.
yesterday. we did ask this yesterday. Do you think like Chestnut prepares, or like does he train? Like, does he up his calorie intake, or like,
He's on a regimen.
there because so he does this for a living. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he doesn't eat that much year round?
I mean, he does. What
He
I'm
probably
saying
does, like,
is he
other
does a lot of
challenges.
unique challenges. Like he went on.
He'll probably find different hot dog eating challenges throughout the
No,
year.
but
just
it's
to-
not. It's not hot dogs. So he said he did one where it was hard boiled egg challenge,
That's sickening.
and he said that he
You
smelled
probably
like
put a lot.
sulfur for 3 days.
That
I
is
think
disgusting.
it was like 100 and like 20 hard boiled
You think he can
eggs.
just enjoy a regular hot dog, like at a
No,
ballpark or
I would have
something?
to
Or
say no.
I think
honestly.
I think he could if he puts like all the fixins
No,
on
there's
it
no way.
because like he's just eating soggy water, like soggy bread.
Well, I know that like he's won 17 like hot dog like 4th of July competitions, but like I know he does other competitions like throughout the year too. Like I don't know what exactly it is, but they were saying that he has like a few pink belt titles too. What I don't know what that is, but
Jip probably knows.
I don't know.
but like I think his training literally is probably just like food challenges and food competitions. Like he just enters a few
Yeah.
a year and he's like,
Some
What's
people
like,
just got that
what's
stomach.
like the hour after the hot dog eating contest look like for
I'm
him?
out of commission.
yeah.
For us,
No, for him.
No,
What-
for him.
What does he do after?
he's probably just a normal human.
I was
Probably
no,
just
I
takes
was
a
if it was
coffee
one
and
of
hits the
us,
bathroom.
we know where we'd be.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Straight-
I was saying
100%.
I was saying yesterday I was like
be
he's
like that.
probably never had a good 4th of July because he's just miserable every 4th of July.
He's probably enjoing it now. He lives for this.
Except for last year though, he got banned,
Banned.
so he was
Why did he get banned again?
a contract dispute.
He was on his Bobby Bass.
He's holding out.
Didn't they do the 1v1 him versus Kobayashi? Wasn't that last year?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, him versus Kobayashi, and he destroyed him.
Yeah,
But
I'd
let-
be like that one dude on the
Hey,
chugging contest where he's just projectile vomiting.
Hey, talk about a sleeper. There was one year Matt Stoney edged out
I
Joey
remember that
Chestnut.
name.
Yeah.
I
Matt
remember that.
Stoney, he
What
beat him.
about old boy who drinks the lemonade?
Oh,
he
the
slams
big-
the lemonade.
Badlands.
You guys think you got
Badlands.
No.
comp against him?
No.
You know? Granted, you
That's
throw a
an
beer
elite
in there.
band.
Does that does,
What-
that,
what do you got-
I
does that change the scenario?
If it's
that
a
does.
beer,
for us,
if
like,
it's beer for us, I think we got him.
No,
Yeah.
I think that we're probably above average just because we've done it so much, but I think that we don't even come close to that.
yeah,
Well, what do you guys know about Shoe Nice?
yeah, shoe nice.
Shoe
That guy's
Nice.
a
He
demon.
started.
But also,
it.
it's just like how many weekends in a row have we chugged beer?
Almost too many to say on camera.
Yeah.
to be honest. with
But
you.
he probably does it like once a while.
I mean, the McQueen is fading in that department. I
boys are getting
start
old.
getting a little nauseous, and
yeah, the Sunday wake ups are tough.
yeah, it's
McQueen is fading.
going off Joey Chestnut. Is he in like the Mount Rushmore of American goats?
no.
No,
Sorry,
just
hot
like
dog-
when
hot
you're
dog
thinking
contest
of
doesn't have
like
that much
There's a
pedigree on it.
certain
just like 4th of July, like American goats.
Oh,
I'm taking
yeah,
Michael
Fourth-
Phelps is
just like
probably
American
number
at all,
one.
like
Fourth-
just everything,
4th
just
of
everything that
July.
comes into it.
Yeah.
Like, who's your Mount Rushmore of American goats?
I'd say Michael Phelps for the number one,
100%.
and then I'd throw Serena
I mean, in
there.
terms of like American, like Mount Rushmore, like who just screams like Patriot. Like
Yeah,
I'm
like who-
throwing
yeah.
like John Daly on my Mount Rushmore. Honestly,
Fair.
Patriot. Patriot.
Tiger,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I mean,
Dale.
yeah, Dale. That's a good one. No, I think Phelps is undisputed one.
Yeah,
For sure.
He's probably best athlete in my opinion ever. Like most dominant athlete at his sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
that's-
I don't think
Best
anyone
goat
else.
ever.
Yeah, you're
So
going
you-
solely American.
I'm just
like,
going just like not even just solely American, just like when you think of like 4th of July, America,
Oh,
you got to
man.
build a Mount Rushmore.
Trying to
Who
think
is
of
your
all these
4?
Sports. Like,
That's
I don't
why I
know.
said, like,
That's
you
tough.
saying, like,
Flyovers?
4th of July, like,
Like, who's
Okay, we
who's
could
the,
do that.
Can we come
who's
off
the
of
who's the
people?
goat of
We could do
cornhole?
like
I don't know.
people and like just
Things.
things.
That have
Yeah,
fur.
like obviously if we're doing
good
that flyover, it has to be in there.
I'm not a
For sure.
fireworks guy.
Yeah,
personally,
Yeah, like
so
we were
I'm not
saying
putting
earlier, I
that
don't
in
think I've lit a firework in like
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
So
Once I've
it's-
seen a couple hands go, I'm good off that.
So what's 2 more? We got Phillips. We got
Bratwurst.
flyovers.
I don't know, boat day.
there. Ooh,
Boat
You get out
day.
on a lake in a boat with the
haven't done
fellas.
that in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but
This is tough. Like I could
Always a
say
good
golf.
time.
I could say golf would
yeah,
be in there.
golf's cool.
Golf, I
Golf
also throw-
is like if you didn't plan a trip and you have nothing going on.
I
Like you
also
go
threw
rip
drinking beer in
18.
there too.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
regardless
beer.
of what
but you can
do,
drink beer
you're
doing
going to
anything.
drink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Also,
So it's
like golf, you can golf any day. Like when you think of like 4th of July, something like that's catered just to the 4th, like obviously the flyover and stuff like that. It's like you don't get those like unless you're at a big sporting event like we were talking about. But like I would say the flyover is probably the number one for me, just because it's like your whole body will get the chills. Like you're sitting there like it's the 4th of July,
Yeah.
especially yesterday being the 250th edition of the 4th of July. Like we didn't get a flyover in our backyard, but
we got a heli.
Yeah.
We had the
Yeah,
heli.
or the day club, fly over the day club.
Couple helicopters.
I know Mike talked about bringing it up, but I figured, like, best American sports moments in history.
We could do that too. That's tough, actually.
for
That's,
me at least.
And, like, this one, like, not even saying, like, it has to cater to the 4th of July, just best American sports moments.
1980 miracle.
Yeah,
on
Miracle
Ice.
I was
Well,
gonna
that's
go into that.
Miracle.
That's
Nice.
low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
That's low
All
hanging
reliable.
fruit. I've had the same one since, like, one time in 6th grade, I missed PE. So to, like, get credit, I had to write, like, a sports paper on, like, history.
Missing PE. Bad
Yeah.
year.
Mine's
out of all the classes,
Mine's
PE.
always been the 1936 Olympics in Berlin. When no,
Owens?
this one's cool. When
this Jesse Owens?
Jesse Owens
Yeah.
won 4 golds, and it was Nazi Germany at the time. So like for the U.S. to go in there and do that in such a rough time in history, I thought that
fair.
was super.
Yeah,
Super
Olympics
cool.
are always gonna be
Phelps
like.
won 8 at Beijing.
I might say
that.
Phelps would be my one.
8 golds in
I
one
think
Olympics.
Phelps might be my one.
I wouldn't say this is like one of the best moments. It's definitely a great moment, but like around that same time, like did you guys watch the movie The Boys in the Boat?
I did not.
Never.
So
heard
it was
of
about like the rowing team for
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I have
yeah.
seen
This
that.
actually.
Yeah.
for
like that.
they were
That
like
was a good movie.
the Washington rowing team. They went to
Yeah.
the Olympics and they were just long shots to even make like qualifying for
It was like the
national
Wisconsin team or
yeah.
Washington team.
Washington,
Yeah,
yeah.
Washington.
And so then they ended up winning everything,
Yeah.
and then
The Aura Farmers.
but they ended up winning like all the stuff to get there, and then they ended up winning like against all odds. Like they were getting like kind of pushed aside as far as like just kind of they were all young guys and they were just
Yeah, a
kind
bunch
of
of
nobodies, and then so they ended up winning it. That was pretty cool too. That movie's
That
pretty
movie
good.
is good. I kind
Yeah.
of forgot about that.
Yeah,
Why
I
don't
got
we?
a sneaky one. Probably not everyone really knows it, but I know there's a clip. I can't remember who was playing the baseball game, but the whole crowd started getting notifications that the U.S.
Oh,
killed
was it
Bin
the night?
Laden.
Yeah.
And like the whole
I think that
crowd
was. I
starts.
was thinking that was Red Sox. That
Yeah, it
at
was
the
a Red Sox game, but I can't remember who they were
Great
playing.
shout.
yeah.
But-
that gave me the chills
Yeah,
right now.
but then everyone started lighting up on everyone's phone, and then they burst out.
I
in
think the most
USA chant
patriotic
like
is
that.
when 9/11 happened, and then Poppy on the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing was
Yeah.
also very.
Same with the Boston bombing when they did
Yeah.
that part.
I
But
think it was the Boston.
Oh, it was a Boston
yes.
bombing. Okay.
And then like I know those like
Boston
you
Marathon.
see best American moments when I don't know if it was day after 9/11 or the first game after 9/11. Sammy Sosa hit a home run and ran around the
Yeah.
bases with the American flag.
That's one thing about America is if there's tragedy, like sports for one thing,
Brings
brings
everyone
everything together. But
Yeah.
America rebounds pretty.
I mean, that's why I
awesome,
also
though.
wanted to bring you guys on, is because I mean, like, there's been every day probably I wake up at 8 a.m. and I'm seeing Mikey and Jip arguing about sports, and I'm just like, oh, like I need to get the boys on, like
Breakfast ball.
It's
Yeah,
breakfast,
breakfast
yeah.
ball.
literally
Before most people are awake, honestly.
literally,
Yeah, I
literally.
get to my desk at work and there's probably like 74 texts on my phone, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
Let's see what the
I
conversation
could
is
read
What
it.
games you
today.
got
Probably
today?
a conversation that we had over the weekend, but it just got
Literally.
reiterated through text for
I
a Monday
know.
morning. But that
I
works.
know. I
too.
guess your shout kind of goes into what we were talking about the other day of like America's team, and I
Okay.
think that
Yeah, so,
Red
like,
Sox is the
Out of every
Nah.
sport,
best
what is
shout.
America's team? Besides soccer, obviously.
So
you can't.
I know the Cowboys claim America's team, but
I don't
me and
think so.
Cassie were talking
Yeah.
about it. That's strictly because they're a big bandwagon fan base, and
facts.
I don't want to shade the Cowboys, but that's true. Like they have a lot of fans
From
across
all
the
over.
country.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're
a very
historic, but, like,
popular team
not
to
really
like.
current.
I wouldn't say they're anywhere close to America's team in terms of like being
Like a U.S. Like if you're
like
talking
a Patriot
yeah.
team. Not saying the Patriots, but like
So who,
big on
who's in the
America.
NFL is
I mean,
I would say the Patriots.
not in terms of
during-
just like them being called the Patriots, but I
Yeah.
feel like they are just the most dominant franchise
Yeah.
over the
Well,
like
and with-
our
With
lifetime.
Brady at the helm, that's
Yeah.
also like
now
a
now
no-brainer.
baseball. I think we had the conversation. I think it's between the Yankees and Red Sox.
Sox.
Just,
Yeah,
but I would say the Yankees just because of their historic,
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
the tenure that they've had, and they're also. I mean, the
Still
Yankees
competitive.
is-
I think
is
that's
like
that's
everywhere.
T1, T2 is between them two. I think
yeah.
you can't
But
really
you look.
pick.
I mean, their alternate logo fully has the American flag in it.
Yeah.
and-
I mean, that's me too. I'm not a baseball guy by any means,
Yeah.
but like growing up, this guy was, and I pretty much knew every player solely because of that. And so from that point, I'm like,
What-
okay,
what about NBA?
that
I
one's
don't
tough
know. Would-
because
would
you say
NBA doesn't
this-
really have an America's team.
That's-
And
Yeah, we don't.
unbiasedly speaking, if we're gonna talk about the best team in the NBA, it's obviously the Lakers.
That's what I was gonna say.
I like
Yeah,
that's just one of
America's
those that's just kind of untouched, whether it's because of bandwagon fans or
If you had to
the
pick, it would
franchise as
be-
a
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, so many people like our friend group, especially like it's like the most random teams. Like you have Max, or one of our other buddies, like Packers, and then but then he's a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
Same with obviously Austin, Lakers fan.
Granted.
Our other friends,
Steelers.
everyone somehow
Yeah.
is like a Lakers fan one way or another. So,
Fair.
and
Uh,
I'm
I see what you're trying to say, but I'll kind of go off like one of the last things before you close it off is like, what would be your number one like sports moment that like you go? Would you rather see like a hole in one to win the Masters or like a buzzer beater to win NCAA or NBA, a game winning PK kick? Like where would you?
Are we talking at the highest level? So like
Highest
Super Bowl,
level,
Game 7,
yeah, highest
World Cup
level,
final?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I'd go like recency biased. I mean, regardless if it's going to be soccer related, but I'd go like the World Cup, like watching, Argentina beat France. Like I was dialed in that whole
If
game.
you had
and
to
it was
pick-
like that, not even like the goal, but like the save from
Yeah.
Martinez. Like I was literally about to throw my phone at the.
Would you
TV.
rather game-winning jumper in basketball / college basketball? We'll say walk-off home run.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a great thing.
Overtime goal in hockey, or you can say in football. I don't know what the equivalent would be like.
Like a
not game-winning
2-minute
touchdown
drive,
pass,
like
but
last minute.
like a game-winning catch or
Kick
or,
return touchdown something.
Hail
or
Mary.
Like that
you're the
Auburn
kicker and nail
game?
the
Oh,
60-yarder for the
Oh, that
win.
Auburn game against Bama.
Yeah, so like there's different ways to win a game.
Yeah.
What would you say like is the most
if you were in a
highest
position,
climax, like that for like
I'd say
fandom?
me personally, I would just say walk off home run.
A walk off. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's in
bases
baseball.
loaded. Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
I would say that, but I agree. The crowd in a walk off home run might be
The most
the
electric.
most electric.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a buzzer beater is like. I mean, you look at some of like every year we put on the March Madness moments,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
see like
Yeah,
Or
every
it's
time
like
about that time.
that,
Yeah.
or even Nova,
Even like
Like,
Kawhi
it's
when he was
like
in the
it's
Raptors
insane.
versus Sixers, and like that wasn't the NBA Finals, but like to get there, and he just like sits on the rim and then drops in. Like, I'm like, yeah.
I feel like a buzzer beater is
Yeah.
undisputed, most climatic.
And
I
that's
would
kind of
say.
just on one guy, Like in that moment, you kind of know where the ball's going, and it's
Yeah.
all on you. It's
That's
very
the
simple.
problem with the football is there's so many moving
Yeah.
parts. It's
Yeah.
not really. It's not. You
It's not
versus
mano a
someone
mano,
else.
yeah.
And that's how, like you had mentioned, hole in one to win the Masters. I think the stakes are significantly
Oh,
higher there.
that
You're
really-
you're
yeah.
playing for yourself,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
in and
That's
of
just
in
never
and of
happened.
itself, a hole in one is pretty fucking
It
insane.
would
Yeah.
probably
So it's
a better
like-
one would be like you birdie 18 to win the Masters.
Right,
not
Yeah.
just-
right.
The playoff,
Yeah,
of
The
Vince
nails.
Just win a
Rory
playoff.
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
when he beat out Rose. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
super high stakes.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Something that's
Carson, you
etched
got
in
something
history.
for us?
He's gonna say hockey probably.
I'm going
Well,
back to the
Like,
golden goal.
baseball obviously like that's the iconic walk off.
that's like you did
bottom of the
yourself.
9th, 10th, 11th, whatever. You got
Mano a
your
mano.
You got your like classic walk off, like the golf as well. You know, a hole in one or an albatross or something like that happens so rarely that it's like if it was to win an event, like if there was a par three on hole 17 or something, and you hit a hole in one to win the event, that would probably be one of the craziest moments ever.
I'd also say the same with the PK. Like Brazil to win the Olympics, you need to win a PK to win. That's also I'd feel like that's also I feel like would be just an electric.
But
Messi didn't do much in that.
with that being said, I would say me personally, if I
Letters
could
in
like
triple
do
team.
if I could do a couple of those things, I just growing up playing hockey, going to so many games, going to so many playoff games where, you know, it goes until somebody scores, it's no shootout, there's no tie. I would say that like I've envisioned myself same way you guys have in soccer or, you know, basketball in the garage or
Yeah.
in the driveway or in the street.
Like when you're playing by
there's,
yourself, like,
you
oh my
know,
God, there's 3 seconds.
There's 3 seconds left.
And then when you
And
miss,
then
all of a sudden, 10 seconds
you add
gets
more
added
time
on.
There's a
there.
foul.
And then
But-
every car that drives by, you're thinking like, oh damn, I might get recruited.
but when I was in those positions, I usually had a hockey stick in my hand. So like for me, I would say I've envisioned myself scoring the game-winning overtime goal in hockey more than anything else. Not to sound cliche, but that would be my number one, because that's just, we all have our own preference, and most of the time it's going to be what we were most involved with. But I think either one of the ones that we talked about would be pretty fire. So
Yeah.
Let me fair. But I mean, hey, to close it up, I appreciate everyone here coming on. Trying to get it on. We obviously talk ball damn near every weekend. So I figured me starting one, it'd be a great opportunity to just talk ball.
Film the same
But
football.
definitely, we're gonna have a fantasy football
I gotta
draft.
get my
for
bet in
sure.
on this.
yeah,
one.
we got football.
Yeah.
We have
But,
football at the end of the month.
We have
Hall
football
of
coming
Fame
up. We're
game.
gonna do a fantasy football draft. That'll be fun. But let's just cheers one up,
Hey. A live lock.
Monday
It might not. It
podcast.
might be too late by the time you guys see
Podcast
this,
post
but
college football,
Real
NFL.
Madrid.
There you go.
Moneyline.
A little
Y'all
recap.
watching Monday Night Football?
A nice recap.
Not a
Well,
bad-
yeah, cheers, everyone.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers to Mikey in the morning.
Yes, sir. Cheers, everyone. Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
We good here?
Look at the impeccable.